You ever text someone and they reply like they're fully present in your life? You send, "Hey, are we still on for Friday?" They respond in under 60 seconds. "Yes, absolutely." Friday is perfect. And then nothing. Friday shows up like a confused golden retriever. You follow up, "Still good." Read, no reply. And you're sitting there staring at your phone like, did I hallucinate this friendship? Because the weird part isn't that they're busy. The weird part is that they were so available, right before they vanished. If you've met someone like this, or if you've ever been this person, there's actually a hidden psychology behind it. Not just they're flaky, not just they don't care. Sometimes it's anxiety. Sometimes it's control. Sometimes it's dopamine. Sometimes it's a quiet fear of being seen too clearly. So let's talk about the psychology of people who always reply and then disappear. Then there's the type I call the immediate responder, delayed human. This is the person who replies instantly because the notification hits them like a little electric shock. They're on it. Their thumbs move faster than their brain. You get a reply while you're still holding your phone, and for a brief, beautiful moment you think, wow, this person is consistent. But consistency isn't what you're seeing reflex. Because their fast reply is about reducing discomfort in the moment. That unread message feels like pressure in their chest, so they respond quickly to make the pressure go away. But after that, the actual follow-through begins. The plans, the decision, the emotional commitment, the effort, and that's where they vanish. It's like they're amazing at closing the notification loop, but terrible at maintaining the relationship loop. You might recognize yourself here if you're the kind of person who can answer in 10 seconds, but then spends 3 days avoiding the part where you have to actually show up. Not because you're evil, because showing up feels heavier than replying. Another type is the people pleaser with a vanishing act. This one is sneaky because they genuinely seem kind. They say yes to everything. They hype you up. They match your energy. They're supportive, they're warm. Until it's time to actually do the thing they agreed to. Here's a scene, you ask them, "Can you help me with something this weekend?" They respond, "Of course." Literally anything you need. And you feel relieved, supported, seen. Then Saturday comes and suddenly they are a ghost who left their phone in a lake. What's going on? A lot of people pleasers aren't saying yes because they mean yes. They're saying yes because they can't tolerate the emotional risk of saying no. In that moment, yes keeps the peace. It keeps them likable. It keeps them safe. But later, when the request becomes real, they feel trapped by their own promise. Now they have to choose between disappointing you or exhausting themselves. And instead of choosing, they disappear. If you're watching this and thinking, wait, I do this, you're not alone. It's a conflict avoidance strategy. It's not confidence. It's not cruelty. It's fear wearing a friendly outfit. Then there's the anxious perfectionist. The reply was easy. The follow-up is a minefield. This person responds quickly because they want to be a good communicator. They genuinely care, but after they reply, they start overthinking everything. Did I sound weird? Did I commit too hard? What if they respond and I don't know what to say? What if this turns into a longer conversation and I'm too drained? What if I disappoint them? Again, so they stall. They rewrite responses in their head. They plan to answer later when they can do it perfectly. Later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And now it's been so long that replying feels like walking back into a room after you've already slammed the door. So they don't. They disappear, not because they forgot, but because they're trapped in the too late to respond spiral. And ironically, the attempt to avoid awkwardness creates the exact awkwardness they feared. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you know. But if you've ever stared at a message for 5 minutes, then closed the app like it was a bomb you needed to disarm, you understand this type. But here's the twist. Some people disappear for a completely different reason. There's the control keeper. This person is not overwhelmed. They're not anxious. They're not confused. They're managing power. They reply quickly to establish presence, to keep you interested, to remind you they exist, to keep their position in your mind. And then they disappear because distance gives them leverage. Think of it like this. If they're always reachable, they're predictable. If they're occasionally unreachable, they become important. Mysterious, hard to pin down. And a weird part of the human brain reads inconsistency as significance. So they sprinkle attention like seasoning. Reply, disappear. Return with a casual, haha, sorry, been busy. And you, without even meaning to, start adjusting yourself around their availability. You stop expecting. You start hoping. You become flexible, then smaller. Not every inconsistent texter is playing games. But some people absolutely use inconsistency as a tool because it keeps them in control of the emotional temperature. And if you've ever noticed that someone vanishes right after you get close, right after you ask for clarity, right after you suggest real plans, that's when you should pause. Because sometimes disappearing isn't an accident. It's a boundary they refuse to say out loud. And finally, there's the dopamine drifter. This one lives for the hit, the buzz, the quick social spark. They love the start of conversations, the flirting, the planning, the idea of connection. Their brain lights up when they see your name. But sustained connection, actual consistency, doesn't give them the same reward. It feels slow, ordinary, responsibilities start showing up. So they chase novelty instead. They'll reply fast, enthusiastically, like a trailer for a movie, and then disappear when the movie begins. If you're this type, you're not necessarily a bad person. You might just be wired for stimulation and allergic to maintenance. But relationships are maintenance. Friendships are maintenance. Even replying when it's boring is maintenance. And if you only show up for the dopamine, people eventually feel like they're talking to a slot machine. So here's the question that changes everything. When someone replies fast but disappears, ask yourself, what is their fast reply actually doing? Is it reducing their anxiety? Is it protecting their image? Is it avoiding conflict? Is it controlling the dynamic? Is it chasing a hit? And then ask the harder question, what does their disappearing do to you? Does it make you doubt yourself? Does it make you over-explain? Does it make you chase? Does it make you accept crumbs as a meal? Because your nervous system keeps score. Maybe you recognize one of these types in someone you know. Maybe you recognize it in yourself. Either way, the goal isn't to label people like villains. The goal is to understand the pattern so you can respond with clarity instead of confusion. So which type hit the closest? And if it's you, what are you really avoiding when you disappear? If you want more psychology like this, real behavior, real motives, no, just block them, advice, subscribe. Because the next time someone replies instantly and vanishes, you won't just feel confused. You'll see the mechanism, and that changes everything.